Council of Europe and Human Rights Charter. Do you think organizations really cared about privacy before GDPR? Do you think they care now? Do you think they will care in the future, despite all the fines?
Thank you. So, is the microphone working? Hello, hello? Okay, sorry. So I think the GDPR was a turning point. It was incredibly important. I started working on privacy a few years before the GDPR, and I remember people were incredibly cynic. They were like, oh, privacy, that's just in the history, like you should do something useful and something that people will talk about. So even just 3 years before the GDPR, nobody thought it was even possible. There was so much cynicism. And for all its faults, it changed the public discourse. It changed the way companies did things. It changed the way governments saw things. So I think it's very flawed. And it's not the fault of the people who wrote the laws. They knew what they were doing. They had a lot of pressure, and they didn't have enough support from the population at that time. So I don't want to put it down, even though it's very flawed. But one of its greatest flaws is that the default is not, even though it includes data minimization, nobody takes it seriously because everybody uses these excuses for collecting data. So I think the most important thing going forward would be to change that. You know, every day I spend like an hour saying no to cookies, and it's the most annoying part of my day. And it's totally irrational, right? Because if I wanted cookies, if the model was opt-in, then I would only need to say that once, and I wouldn't have to work every day to say no. If the default was no data collection, that would be so much more productive for everyone. So I think that GDPR was incredibly important. We need to improve it. And I think companies, it depends. The companies that actually cared about privacy before GDPR came around had a lot less trouble complying with GDPR. And I think that is a lesson for companies going forward, that there will be more legislation surrounding privacy and AI, and that if you actually care about the right things early on, it will be much easier for you in the future. I think that people, you know, fines are growing, and that's helping. Enforcement is not good enough yet. Most companies get out of it, you know, scot-free. But I think that people becoming fed up with data collection and becoming much more sensitive to these issues is helping companies care about it more than it used to be the case. And GDPR has been part of that effort.
Excellent, thank you very much. Do we have any question in the room? Yeah.